Hi, welcome back to Musicians Edition. We had a request for Nadia's theme. If you need the sheet music, it's in the link below. Unfortunately, for copyright rules, I cannot show you the music. So make sure you get your music below. So we're going to take this step by step, just like we have in our previous lessons. So the first thing we're going to look at is our key signature. How many flats do we have going on? We have 3. B flat, E flat, and A flat. What about our time signature? It's 4, 4. And it remains that way throughout the song, so we don't have to worry about any form of time change. Great. All right, so our first note is C. And the fingering is the same as the octave lower C. So it's just our index finger and our pinky finger. And just like with some of our other octaves, you just change your embouchure and your air speed. So that's the C we're going to hit. So go ahead and take a moment to play your C. Great. Now we're going to hold this C for how many beats? We have the whole note, which is worth 4, and then we have a half note, which is worth 2. And it's together with a tie. So we're going to just hold this C out for 6 beats. So why don't we do so? All right, ready? 1, 2, 3, 4. Great. So just 6 beats. Then we have the octave lower C. Well, there's that little 8th rest in the middle. So it'll be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then the octave lower C. So the fingers remain exactly the same. So why don't we do that from the beginning? Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4. All right. So next we have F. And to play F, it's thumb, index, middle, ring, and then on our right hand, it's index and pinky. Make sure it's in that octave. You don't want to play low. So why don't you go ahead and take a moment to play that F. Great. Let's play from the beginning, and that's also an 8th note. All right. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4. Ta-ta. So it just goes to another 8th and then to another whole. All right, anyway, so then it's back to that C that we had before. So since we know that note, let's play those first 2 measures. All right, ready? 1, 2, 3, 4. And remember, those are all slurred, so you don't want to tongue them. You're just going to tongue that first C after the rest. All right, so then our next note is B flat. And to play B flat, it's thumb and index on our right hand, and then index, pinky on our left. Why don't you go ahead and take a moment to play that B flat? Great. And just like that C we previously had from the beginning, this B flat is also going to be held for 6 beats. All right, let's take it from the top, shall we? Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4. And then the next one we have is the octave lower B flat. So the fingers remain the same and we just change the air speed. So go ahead and take a moment to just play that B real quick. Great. Okay, and that is also the same rhythm that we had just played. So make sure you take that 8th rest. All right, from the beginning. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, next we have is E flat. And to play E flat, it's thumb, middle, ring, and then on our right hand, it's index, middle, ring, and pinky. Go ahead and play E flat. Great, and then the next note is just back to that B flat. So let's play throughout that measure as well. All right, let's take it from the beginning. All right, ready? 1, 2, 3, 4. Great, how did you do? To be honest, I struggle a little bit. Holding that B flat out for the six beats, that's just because I don't take enough air in. How do you do? The more we do it though, we'll start getting stronger and be able to hold it out longer. All right, taking a look at our next note, we now have A flat. And to play A flat, it's thumb, index, middle, ring, and pinky on our left hand. And then on our right hand, it's just the pinky. Why don't you go ahead and take a moment to play that A flat? Great. All right, and for this amount, we have the dotted half note. So we're gonna hold this for 3 beats. And then we have the B flat for 1 right after it. So let's play through that measure, starting from the beginning. All right, ready? 1, 2, 3, 4. Great. All right, so then we have back to our C from the beginning, holding it out for 3 beats, and then A flat for 1. So let's play up to measure 7, starting from the beginning. All right, ready? 1, 2, 3, 4. Great. Now our next note is G. And to play G, we have thumb, index, middle, ring, and then on our right hand, we have pinky. Why don't you go ahead and take a moment to play your G? Great. Now this is where we're gonna really need some air because we have the whole note for 4 beats and then we have a dotted half. So then we're going to hold it for a total of 7 beats, all with a slur, so we're not supposed to take a breath. Try not to. I will try not to as well, but this is our first go around, so let's just do our best. All right, let's play from the beginning up to that repeat. All right, ready? 1, 2, 3, 4. Great, how did you do? When you're breathing, are you remembering to breathe from your diaphragm? You'll get a lot more air that way. And I know it can be hard getting used to breathing with the diaphragm, but we have to work on it and we have to get it. So make sure you're trying to breathe from the diaphragm. A good way to kind of feel it is if you feel yourself doing this, that's most definitely not breathing through the diaphragm. If you feel like your chest is coming in and out like this, that's not breathing from the diaphragm. You want to feel like your belly's coming in and out, and that is breathing through the diaphragm. All right, so now what we're gonna do is we're going to play from the beginning. We're gonna take this repeat that we just hit. Where does that repeat take us to? It takes us to the very beginning. So then we're going to play again, and now you see at measure 7 how we have the 1 in the bar that goes over. When we repeat, we're gonna skip that and go to where it says 2, which is right after our repeat sign. You see that? Now it's still a G. So why don't we play from the beginning? We're gonna hit the repeat, go to the beginning, and then we're gonna go to the number 2 where we're supposed to. Play that G. Now this G only goes for 6 beats not 7. And then we're going to stop at that rest. All right? Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4. Great, how did you do? Did you remember to take the repeat? Did you get lost when we hit the 1 and 2? Let me know in the comments. All right, so moving along. Now our next note is the same G. And then this is kind of the same rhythm that we have been playing with the 8th notes. So it's gonna just go G, B, E flat. And we learned all those. So it's just gonna go. There is a little bit of a little challenge between the G, B, and G. So you'll just kind of have to work on your fingerings there, and especially because once again, that's slurred, so there's nothing that breaks them apart. So that part might take a little bit of practice. All right, but for now, let's take it from the beginning. We're gonna repeat, and then we're gonna play the entire measure 10. All right, ready? 1, 2, 3, 4. Great. Now our next note is F. And we played F towards the beginning, so we know that one. And we're gonna hold this F out. We have the whole note for 4, and then we have the half note. So they're gonna hold that F out for 6 beats. And looking ahead still, because I think we could play on to the next measure, is still F, B, F. So that's what that's gonna sound like. So why don't we take it from beginning? We're going to repeat. We're going to play up to measure 13. All right? Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4. Awesome. How are you doing so far? Great. Next, we're going back to G, and we're going to hold that G out for 6 beats. And then after that, it's going to start to change. So let's play from the beginning, hit repeat. We're going to continue on, and we're going to play till the end of that half note from measure 14. All right? All right. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4. Great. All right, now the song starts to change a little bit. All right, and so it's gonna go B flat, and now it's high E flat. Now, none of our lessons have hit this high yet, but we're gonna give it a try, right? All right, so the fingerings for that E flat is all fingers down. You want thumb, index, middle, ring, and pinky on the left hand, and then on the right hand, it's index, middle, ring, and pinky as well. Now this one, you don't have to really blow as much air as you do for some of the others, so you're gonna have to really be in control. So go ahead and just try to give this E flat a try. If you're not blowing hard enough, that's what it's gonna sound like. So go ahead and play your high E flat. Great. How did you do? Did you do okay? All right, so let's just stop at that E flat since that's a new one. All right, and let's not take the repeat this time. So at measure 7, go straight on to the number 2. All right, we're gonna play that without the repeat. We're gonna carry on and play up to where we just played that high E flat, okay? Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4. Great. How did you do playing from that B flat to the E flat? All right, let's continue on. So after that E flat, it's now the B flat, and that's still all eighth notes. All right, so just to speed things up, you should have the first part down pretty well now since we kept doing it and we repeated. So let's start on the second page, so it's going to be measure 11 is where we're going to start. If your music looks a little different than mine, it's going to be the second repeat on the second page. It's the whole note F is where we're going to start. And we're going to play up till the entire measure of 14, so stop at measure 15. All right, ready? 1, 2, 3, 4. Great. Okay, so next it's going to be C. So we're going to have C, B, B, and A flat, which we went over previously. And we have slurs and tongues in here. So it's ta, ta, ta. All right, and these are all eighth notes except for we're going to end on a quarter. So it should sound like this. Okay, so let's give that a try. We're going to play that whole thing up to that rest. And we're going to start where we started before, so measure 11 at the whole note F. All right, ready? 1, 2, 3, 4. Great, how did you do on that? Do you want to just play that measure? Or just those eighth notes? Let's just play those eighth notes. So starting at that B. 1, 2, 3. Let's do it one more time. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Great, that one might take a little bit of work. So you'll have to just pause the video, either rewind it and keep doing it, or if you need it even slower, pause the video, take a moment to do note by note, watch where your slurs and your tongues are. But unfortunately, we have to keep moving on. All right, so then what we have next is also still a bunch of eighth notes coming up. So we have C at the end of that measure. And I feel like it's going to be easier just to teach us kind of as measure by measure now. So then the following measure is going to be high D. And to play high D, it's going to be thumb, middle, ring, and then on our right hand, it's just the pinky. This one you have to have a lot of control over your air over as well. So take a moment to play this high D. Excellent. If you're not giving it enough air, that's what it'll sound like. It'll feel pretty dead. So you want to make sure you give it just enough air, or the amount of air needed for that. Okay, so it's going to be, and then we're going to go back down to C, then to B flat, and then G, and now we have something we haven't really seen too much, which is natural sign. This is going to be A natural, which means we're going to be bringing it up a half step from our A flat. So to play A natural, it's thumb, index, middle, and pinky on our right. Go ahead and take a moment to play your A. Great. And then it's just going to end on B flat. So the way it's going to sound is this. That's the way it's going to sound. Let's take this pretty slow. So let's do the pickup from 16. All right, ready? 1, 2, 3. Great, how was that? Let's take it a little bit faster. All right, ready? 1, 2, 3. Awesome. Let's take it a little bit faster. Ready? 1, 2, 3. How'd you do? Still doing all right? If you're struggling, make sure you just go to the section that you can do. And if you couldn't do any of it, just pull out your metronome, pull out the speed that you can do it to. All right, but for now, let's take it a little bit faster. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Great. I think you got it. All right, so let's start back to where we started before. So we're going to start at that whole note F at measure 11, and we're going to play to the end of measure 16. All right, you got this. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4. Excellent. How did you do? Great. All right, so let's move on to the next measure. So now we have back to C, then B flat, and now we're back down to A flat. Now they didn't have to put that flat in because it would have become flat because of our key signature and it's a new measure, but they put that flat in so you would know that it is supposed to be flat. So we're back to A flat. And then G, and E flat, our middle E flat. So it's going to sound like this. All right, so why don't we play that one a little bit slower and work our way faster? So starting from that C at measure 17. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4. Great, how'd you do? Let's take it a little bit faster. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4. Wonderful. A little faster. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4. Great. And a little bit faster. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4. Wonderful. Let's back it up and start from the pickup to 16. We're going to play that as a whole entire thing because that's what it is. All right. And we're going to take this one a little bit slower. Ready? 1, 2, 3. How did you do? Did you remember the switchings of the A's? If you struggle with it, just take your pencil and circle in the natural, circle in the flat, whichever you missed. You just want to bring attention to it. All right, let's do it again. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Great, let's take it a little bit faster. Ready? 1, 2, 3. A little bit faster. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Wonderful. All right, so then what we have is next is the C. And we're gonna just hold that out for 3 beats and then we have a rest. So let's start from our whole note F at measure 11 and play to the end of that rest. All right, ready? 1, 2, 3, 4. Great, how did you do? It's kind of hard to get enough air in right before we have all those eighth notes, right? I didn't get enough air, so I kind of broke it up. All right, so moving on, next we have back to our high C for 6 beats, and it's gonna be just like the beginning. So it's gonna be C, C, F, C, B, and then we're going on to our 3rd page here. And yeah, it's very close to what we have in the beginning. We're gonna hold that A flat out a little longer. And then, you know what? I think we could actually play the rest of this. All right, and so at making a note, at the end of measure 26, we have this repeat. That is where that repeat takes us to, is measure 11. So that's where it takes us to. All right, so I think we're ready to take this second part all the way through. So why don't we do so? Let's start at measure 11 at that whole note F. We're gonna play all the way through. We're gonna hit that repeat. We're gonna take the repeat. We're going to come to our second ending, and that's the second half of the song. All right, let's do this. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4. Excellent. I forgot to mention we have a fermata at the end, but we're gonna just hold it for the 4 beats since I don't have a conductor and we do have an accompaniment coming up. All right, great. So why don't we play through this whole song and let's use our metronome. So that way we can get ready for the piano accompaniment. Let me get my metronome real quick. And here we go, the handy dandy metronome. And this song is written for 80 beats per minute. So we might have learned that faster. I do have a tendency to. But Whether it's faster or slower, the metronome will help guide us. All right, we ready to do this whole thing? We're gonna do the whole thing and we're gonna take the repeats. All right, ready? 1, 2, 3, 4. Great, how did you do? It's a little hard with 3 pieces. My music stand is not quite big enough. All right, are you ready to take it with the piano accompaniment? Great, let me put my headphones on so I can hear the piano accompaniment as well. And I need to fix my sheet is big. All right. All right, now I'm not going to count the 1, 2, 3, 4, but you will hear the ticking, almost like the metronome. It will count us off. That way it'll give me enough time to get back to my music. All right, are you ready? Flutes up, everyone. How did you do? I would love to see the piece if you feel comfortable enough recording yourself and showing it. You can always send it to our Facebook page. I'd love to see it and how well you did. All right, well, I think that concludes our lesson. If you have any further questions, please let me know in the comments. Thanks for joining me, and until next time.